Want to make great tasting, nutritious plant-based food? Fast, easy, low cost, low energy, with very little cleanup? Then let's get to it. Hello, comfort food. I haven't had this in a while, and this is the first time I'm making it with the Kraft NotCo cheese. That's the cheddar I'm using on this. But this is just one of my favorite fast, easy, cheap, easy, no cleanup comfort foods. I just love this, and I don't know, it just hit me. It's like, God, why haven't I had this in a long time? So I'm gonna make it. So it consists of really just 3 parts. I use these wonderful, they're fantastic. There's 2 brands that I use. You can buy them both at Whole Foods. This is the 365 brand. It's really, really good. I enjoy the fact that I can get something that tasty and I don't have to make it. Because to try and make this kind of stuff from scratch, I've done it and it's really time consuming. It requires a lot of equipment and I don't have time for it. I want to eat. And this is really economical. These are not expensive. There's 3.5 servings in the bag and they're under $5. So do the math and they're not that expensive. And basically this serving is, I think it's 13 grams of protein there, and then we've got the other stuff, the protein. So this is gonna probably come up to about 16, 17 grams of protein when it's finished. So I've got the Kraft cheddar, NotCo, Kraft NotCo, not cheese, cheddar. And I've got this golden potato, which is really good. It's probably more potato than you need, but potatoes are pretty cheap, and this was the size that was there, so that's the one I'm using. So what this is gonna be roasted garlic potatoes, really browned and beautiful. I make them all the time and just eat the potatoes, but this time I'm doing this dish that I've made where you put the plant balls on them and the cheese and everything. So it's a couple of steps, but if you prep it up, it's real quick. There's nothing to it. Roasting the potatoes, I'm gonna just use my tray here, which is my mini tray that goes in my toaster oven. It's perfect size. I really don't want to use the big one. Just lined with foil at the end. That foil is recyclable. You can just put it in the recycler and be done with it. And I'm going to plate it on a plate, this plate right here, when it's finished. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice up first I'm going to oil the foil. That rhymes. I'm going to oil the foil. And then I'm going to slice up this potato. Now this potato, I don't want to say cook, but I pre-par it. I get it to a point where it's nice and soft, and that way toaster oven takes less time, and it just works better, and it seems to be more crispy than trying to do it from an actual raw potato, because I'm not deep frying this. This whole thing takes 1 tablespoon of olive oil. That's all it takes. So I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna prep the tray, and then I'm gonna cut the potato up, and then I'll show you how that goes together. And then I'm gonna put it in the toaster oven and get it nice and crispy, and then take it out, and I'll show you the rest of it after that. So we can get this out of the way first. So let's take the tray. I know about what a tablespoon is, so that's about it right there. And I just get this around here, and I make sure I just coat the bottom of the aluminum all the way around. Let's get olive oil on the bottom of the aluminum. And this actually works for the top and the bottom of the potato. Okay, so let's get that over here. Let's cut our potato up. Now remember, this is pretty soft. It's not probably cooked all the way through, but I take and do about 1/4-inch slices. So not potato chip slices, because it doesn't really work well with this. So I'll take off the end, and then I'll start taking these chunks off. So that's about the size right there. And then I'm just gonna start laying these in here until I fill up the whole pan, because that's gonna be enough. I'll do something with the remaining potato. Doesn't matter if they break up a little bit. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever. Just put it all in there. It's all going to be good because I'll show you once you see it all together. It doesn't really matter. They don't really have to keep their shape that much. You can try to help them keep their shape, and all the bits and pieces are great. Doesn't really make any difference. Because these are just the base. See how many got in here. I think we can get a couple more in here. Let's get the small one in there. That's great. Let's get this off to the side. Okay. Now let's do this. I'll put these crumbles in here, which are really good too, because they'll just get toasted up. Okay, so they're sitting in the oil. Okay, so what I do is I just flip these over. So now the oil that I've got on here comes up to the top, and then these go to the bottom, which is really great. Make sure I get oil on there, just a little bit. You don't want to saturate these in oil because you want them to get nice and crispy without all the oil. So that's sort of the best way to do it. Now, garlic. This is chopped garlic, not real fine, but sort of chunky, which I like. And I just sort of like get it all around on some of these potatoes, a little bit on each one. And it's okay if it falls in the bottom of the pan. It'll all be scooped up and put in the whole dish anyway, so it won't make any difference. Okay, great. And then we're going to do a little bit of black pepper. I mean, this is just incredibly fast. It just really takes nothing to make this dish, and you're eating something just fantastic. Okay, a little bit of salt, not much, perfect. Okay, let's get those out of the way. All right, see how simple that is? That's going to go in the toaster oven. This will go in for 15 minutes at 450 in my toaster oven, and that should just, as it always does, make it absolutely perfect and crispy browned edges and all the stuff. And then I'm going to take it out and plate it and then do the next step. So I'm going to put this in the toaster oven and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. It's out. It's fantastic already. Like I say, I can eat this just the way it is, and I've done it so many times. These potatoes are just fantastic. So I'm letting it cool a little bit. So while that happens, I'm going to prep the cheese that's going to go on it, the Kraft NotCo not cheese cheddar. So I'm just going to get this off of here real quick. Still a little bit toasty warm. It's best to let it just cool a second or two anyway. They release from the foil really easy that way. So I'm using 2 slices of this. The serving size is 1 slice. So I'm going to use 2 slices just because I want it extra cheesy. And I'm just going to, you can do this any way you want. You can actually just lay these 2 slices on top of everything when it's all on the plate. So the plant ball is on the potato and you'll see how it all comes together. I like to just make these in long strings and then just sort of lay them all over the top, these slices. They work really well for that. You can make them in, just chop them up in little small pieces and crumble them all over the whole top. It's up to you. In fact, the entire recipes, as always, you can alter. If you don't want the same amount of garlic I put on, don't do it. If you want more garlic, put it on. If you want to enhance a little bit more with some garlic powder, you can do that. If you want to use more oil, less oil, you do that. But I don't deep fry and fry pan. I just do it this way because it really uses the least amount of oil. And the oil will absorb all into the potato anyway, because the potato's very porous. And as you're cooking, the oil's getting up in there, and as you can see, they're just absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to just make some slices here. And then I'm going to lay these on top as I plate this up. Now it's going to go back in the toaster oven just for a few minutes, so this gets all melty on top and everything. And that's the only reason I do it. And everything gets kind of the same warmness all together. So Because once this cools down, I put it on the cool plate. You could have heated the plate up, obviously, but then I want this to melt over the top, because one of the great things about this cheddar cheese, this Kraft NotCo stuff, is that it really has a great melting. It's just fantastic. And again, you can see the review I did on the Kraft NotCo cheese on the YouTube channel. Okay, so these come out. See how beautiful? Okay, and they're nice, beautiful, browned on the bottom, crispy on the sides, just fantastic. So you just let them cool a little bit and they come right out. And this doesn't really matter. This is just going to be a pile of these things underneath. If you have some crumbs, they break apart. It's not going to make any difference. In fact, that's even better. So all I'm doing is just peeling them off of the, how about if I put them here? You can see it easier. Yeah, just get them loose. So it just took a minute to cool down. This little aluminum tray, and the aluminum just cools down so quickly. Okay, and there's all the extra crumbs and all the outside part, all that good stuff, the skin and all that was left that got a little bit of crumbly. So you just want to pile this on the plate however you want. Kind of get it all even so it looks really great, like that. And I get all this stuff up and just toss it in here. It doesn't make any difference. Now, let's get this out of the way so you can see that coming together with the above camera. That's it, good right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to take these and again, you don't have to do this. I just like this look. Oops, excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm actually just salivating here. Okay, let's put the meatballs on. That might help. Okay, let's get this. And you got to kind of arrange this so they want to stay up there, kind of on top. Not necessary, but it's nice that they stay up there. That's it. Now you want to get, oops, let's stay. Okay, good. Now we just want to get this all over here. There's plenty of these slices just to layer on top of everything. Try and get a little, I tried to get some space between them. Doesn't really matter, because you could put this in a bowl if you want to as well and just scoop it out of the bowl. I like it here because I can, on a plate, because I could take my fork and just cut into the meatballs if I don't want to eat one whole one. And if I wanted to use a knife or whatever. You really don't need to. The potatoes can be easily mashed, with the fork and broken apart simply enough, so you don't really need to worry about it too much. But this looks just fantastic. I can't tell you what this smells like because it's just too good. Okay, so there it is. Now, I'm going to stick this in the toaster oven. This probably won't be 5-6 minutes. That's all it takes normally to get the cheese melty. You could leave it in as long as you want. It also heats up the plate, which is nice, and the whole dish becomes really warm and hot. You can leave it in as long as you want, and if you want it to brown up more even. I'm just going to get it in there so it's hot, and that usually takes about 5-6 minutes. So I'm going to put this in the toaster oven, and I'll be back. Okay, there it is. Man. I can't wait to dig into this. Now, keep in mind, you can add stuff to this if you want, like maybe you want to do some Brussels sprouts or broccoli or corn, whatever you go. I like it this way from time to time because it's just very simple. The potatoes with the garlic and and the cheese just melts beautifully over the top of this. It's just absolutely, my mouth is watering. I can't wait to eat this. It is just fantastic. If you just smell it, it's just like, just beautiful, cheesy, garlicky, just very, very like mouth-watering, tasty. You just want to dig into this so bad. I'm FOODMAKER V. And remember, the best investment you'll ever make is an investment in your health. And please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.